Just be out with us. Two St. Kitts. It is our first time here on the island and we are super excited. Well, what is the best time to explore the island? Of course, with the Grand Island Tour.
Cheers.
Well, we did some research for this one and we found the best company according to TripAdvisor to do the Grand Island Tour with, and this is with Grey Island Tours.
Yes, and we're going to be taking you along with us on this excursion, and I'm sure we're gonna love it and you're gonna love it.
And we'll tell you if it's worth it. Well, we had already checked in. That was a super easy process right at the arrivals at the port zone. Even before you walk out to the port, Mr. Gray will meet you with a sign. Our tour starts at 10 a.m. and it should be about 4 or 5 hour tour ending at a beautiful St. Kitts beach.
So let's get started on this tour and
just be out with us. We are getting ready to hop on this Grey Island Tour. Mr. Gray is right behind us. He greeted us right at the arrivals with a sign for the tour, and that was a quick 2-minute walk over to the side of the road where the bus will pick us up. Well,
the bus is
the
here.
Bus is right here.
Showtime.
We just came to our first stop. This is a beautiful lookout. As we started the tour, we drove through the town and Mr. Gray told us lots of history, lots of cool stories about the town, about the island. So far, the tour is fantastic.
Yes, very knowledgeable.
And from this lookout point, we can see the fortress where we're heading to next. And there are some islands in the distance that you can see from this point as well. As soon as the bus pulled up to this stop, we saw a monkey on
run
the
across
side
the
of
road.
the road. That was so funny.
So let's continue with the tour.
We are now at the Botanical Garden. This is an absolutely gorgeous stop. So many different varieties of trees. And of course, Mr. Gray, our guide, explained all the tree types and variety and all the different flowers to us. We are now in the batik factory, located right inside the Botanical Garden. Here you can see the demonstrations on how the batik is being made. If you don't know what batik is hand painting on fabric, and then after it's hand painted, they actually make clothes from it. So you can see how over here it's being painted in stages. It's super cool, handcrafted. And batik is originally from Indonesia, and when I was in Indonesia last time, I actually bought a batik cover-up. That technique of painting the fabric is really nice, and that fabric lasted me a really long time. A wax technique is being used to create batik. So first they just draw the design on a white fabric with a pencil, then they apply hot wax and then they stain it to dye it. So in order to get different colors, they actually have to stain it once with wax applied, then they need to do the wax again, stain it in a different color, and to get the wax off, they boil it for 30 minutes and they dry. So the more colors the fabric has, the more complicated the job is. And to tell whether it is a real batik or not, you have to look for the pattern on one side and the pattern on the other side. It should be the same because the color stays through all the way. And here outdoors you can see the drying process, and you can see just how complicated and intricate the designs are. Really cool handcrafted fabric.
gonna need your assistance here again. Would you be so kind as to hold your breath for one moment?
I know. Suck it in.
Fit through
Everybody
this.
suck it in.
What do you get paid for?
Easy, easy.
Okay, now we make breathe now.
It's only a 300
Nice driving.
Good job.
We made it to the Brimstone Hill Fortress National Park here in St. Kitts. This is pretty much the highlight of the Grand Island tour. You see from here the gorgeous mountain ridges, unparalleled stunning views of the ocean, 2 islands in the distance.
It is truly a spectacular sight. The mountains are just so lush. The breeze, it's not even that windy up here. It's just a nice, cool breeze that passes through every once in a while. And we're so high up that the houses below us look so tiny, but you could see all the way around. Now, mind you, you can't see 360. I was asking if basically from this point you could see the entire island, but it's not that type of a peak. But you can see very far out, enough to see other neighboring islands.
But the journey to get here was crazy.
It's a leg workout. Oh yeah, and also yes, coming up in the vehicle, wow, it's inches away from the wall and from other vehicles coming up here. It's wow, skilled drivers.
And our bus went through tiny little arches, and when the other bus has to come by the other way, wow, you're just this close in between buses. Is just crazy.
So
I don't
everyone
know.
had to hold their breath
Yeah.
in the van.
The driver is definitely skilled
For
here.
sure. So let's continue with our tour and take in the beautiful sights. This fortress is tremendous. It covers a lot of space, and there's a bunch of different levels as well.
It is massive. Even though it's a very touristy place, and obviously there are a lot of tour buses that come here, it does not even feel crowded. The scenery here is spectacular. Definitely worth visiting.
And while you're here, you have an opportunity to use the restroom. It is a restroom stop. There's food, there's snacks, you can get refreshments, gift shops here as well.
And this is it for this fortress. When you visit St. Kitts, we highly recommend to make this one of your stops.
We've made it to our next stop, which is Timothy Hill. And just like the fort, this one also has beautiful, breathtaking views. Now this one is more beach than the other stop we made, but nonetheless, it's absolutely beautiful up here.
Right below, you see all the gorgeous luxury resorts below, and this is actually the part of the Atlantic Ocean. What our guide told us, that you need to be aware of the monkey trick people. The locals have baby monkeys on their shoulders, and they would put them on you to take pictures. But before you take pictures, you need to make sure you know the price, because after you take pictures, they might charge you way more.
As he calls it, it's monkey business.
And now we're heading to another beautiful stop, which is just a walking distance across. From one side you can see the bay with all the hotels, and on the other side.
And here we are, just on the opposite side of what we were looking at just now.
And here you see the Atlantic Ocean and the Caribbean Sea. And our guide told us, as you can see, the Atlantic Ocean is very rough, it has a lot of waves, and the Caribbean Sea is much calmer. And when you're taking pictures here, you're supposed to stay on the side that represents your personality. So now you can see who is feisty and who is calm and chill. And also in the distance you will see the mountain that is sticking out the tallest. That is actually the Nevis island in the distance. Really beautiful spot right here, and watch out for monkey business. You see them all around here. And here we have the man himself, Mr. Gray. I just love how the business owners actually do the tours themselves. He is our guide and he's been doing a fantastic job. So Mr. Gray, how long have you been in business? When did you start?
I started this business in January of 2006.
Long time.
Yes, to January of 2006. Before that, I worked at the sugar factory. The sugar factory closed in 2005, and then January I started doing this business.
So perfect. Look at that, guys. Worked in the sugar factory, and then it closed. So you have to move on. You have to start doing something else, and bam. A tour company, Gray Island Tours. So what kind of tours do you have besides the Grand Island Tours?
Well, the Grand Tour is our biggest seller. It's a comprehensive tour that takes in all of the highlights. The Romney Manor, Brimstone Hill Fortress, crawl through the city, and then an option is open to you to have a beach stop.
Yes.
But we also have tours to Nevis, tours to the rainforest, tours to the volcano for those who are fit, or those who think they're fit enough. And we also have a snorkel tour that is run by my nephew, who knows the water as well as he does the land. So that's a popular tour. Those who have been on the snorkel tour have given it high reviews.
Well, we might have to come back next week and review that.
Why not?
It's a deal.
You're invited to do so. It's a pleasure to meet you and Devon. And St. Kitts is open to you anytime. To you and your guests, your friends. Invite them to come down, and they can be assured that we can take care of them right here. We also have an accessible van for those who are limited mobility. We can once they tell us ahead of time, we can arrange to take care of those as well. Come on over to St. Kitts. An invitation is here for you. A warm welcome awaits you. Here is my team on my right and my left, that we are dedicated to making sure you have a good time on St. Kitts.
We've arrived at Shipwreck Beach.
St. Kitts!
Yes, this is a black sand beach, but it's funny because they say the sand actually changes color. It really depends. Sometimes it's a little bit like golden in color, and then on other times it looks black. And obviously because the volcano.
And St. Kitts actually have white sand beaches and black sand beaches. It has beaches where the water is really calm, and other beaches water is rough. So for any taste of beach, you can find here in St. Kitts. As we're walking here in water, the water actually feels really nice and warm, much warmer than when we went to Aruba.
And speaking of Aruba, we are actually on a 7-day cruise, and we've done the ABC Islands, and now we are in St. Kitts. And if you want to see those videos and what they're like, definitely be sure to check out our channel for more information.
Yesterday we had the worst excursion in St. Lucia. If you missed that video, we will leave the link in the description below as well. This is our last stop on this amazing St. Kitts Grand Tour. We thank Gray Island Tours for allowing us to join this tour and make this video review for you. We enjoyed this tour a lot, definitely professional. Mr. Gray gives you a lot of information on the tour.
He is well-rounded. I mean, he's traveled so much and he gives you so much information. Like, there's no way you could leave this tour and feel like you didn't learn enough, because he gives you so much information.
And he even was reading poems to us.
He sang.
He was singing. Yes.
That's so awesome.
And he sounds super good too.
Yes, and of course, when you talk about sound, the first thing we all noticed when we got on, and you'll probably notice as well, is that he actually sounds like Morgan Freeman. So, I mean, that's a plus, right?
Wow, as we're walking on the beach, I'm looking in the water. The water looks
beautiful.
so clear. It is gorgeous. We have about over an hour here on this beach before we head back to the ship.
This is also our last day of island hopping, and we are heading back to Puerto Rico, but we are jumping on another cruise as soon as we get back to Puerto Rico the same day, a few hours later, and we're heading back out to cover the other Southern Caribbean islands.
We are heading to Barbados. We are heading again to St. Kitts, but we will be doing another type of excursion, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and click the notification button. We are heading to St. Thomas, St. Martin, and many other stops of the Southern Caribbean.
And of course, we're going to be reviewing, we're going to be on the Royal Caribbean Voyager of the Sea, and we're going to, as usual, review the ship, give you a walking tour of what the ship looked like, just in case you're planning on going on that ship. You would want to know what it looks like. Well, we cover all the floors, we give you a walking tour, we give you pros and cons, and you will see our full review on that particular cruise.
We thank all our members for supporting our channel, and if you would like to support us as well, consider becoming a member or just click the heart button below this video. We thank you so much for watching, and as usual, just be out with us.
Cheers.
Grace Island excursion is
JBO approved.
We highly recommend booking it on their website. We will leave the link in the description below, and we will leave Mr. Gray's email in the description below as well.